the Chase Thomas Podcast, for people who have nothing but time to kill.
On this, fellas. Evan, your MVP is right now.
I gotta say Brock Purdy just because
I knew that was going to be Brock Purdy.
I mean, like, listen, I mean, realistically speaking, I think Trent Williams has done as much for the team as Christian McCaffrey or Brock Purdy has, but he'll never get it. And I think Christian McCaffrey is insane, and it's an MVP caliber season. But the fact that every single person all year long has said that Brock Purdy is not really this good, and everything that you've said he can't do, he continues to go out. Like, people will be like, oh, he can't throw the long ball. And then he'll go out and throw 4 touchdown passes, all like 20 yards each. You know, like they'll say like, oh, he's just dink and dunking. And then like the next week he'll have the longest air yards stat. And then like, oh, well, it's only because it's just like, he just has done everything on every level against every challenge. And he keeps doing it. I mean, he's beat every team, all the best defenses. He's going to be the first quarterback the 49ers have had to throw for 4,000 yards in 20 plus years. He's very deserving of it, but so is McCaffrey.
Jarrett, who is your MVP as of right now?
Mine would be McCaffrey. Leads the NFL in rushing yards, has 57 additional catches for 7 more touchdowns. He's got 20 touchdowns on the year, I think is the number. 20,
yeah. You're absolutely just saying that because you don't want to give it to Purdy.
I don't think that because I think McCaffrey's the more valuable player on the team. So I just don't think that Purdy, again, I'm not on the wagon that Purdy stinks. No, he's a good quarterback. I'm not taking that away from him. Ben Solak did a really good breakdown of it last week in the play sheet, where the play that he broke down, George Kittle ran like a skinny post, and the Seahawks linebackers took care of it. So he dumped it to Debo. It was like a 7-yard completion. It was anything crazy, but his point was he paused it at that point, and he's like, okay, now guess how many yards Debo Samuel gets here. And he's like, you think 9, 10? No, Debo got 30. So I'm not saying Brock Purdy's a bad quarterback. I think Brock Purdy's a good quarterback, but I don't think that he can get the MVP when he's not the most valuable guy on his team. So I would give it to McCaffrey personally. I think that what he's done, he's absolutely the nucleus of that offense. And the 49ers aren't in the position they are without Christian McCaffrey. So I think that this should be the first year, as of right now, that a non-quarterback should win, and it should be McCaffrey just because he's done everything and more for San Francisco so far.
All right, JP.
I know who JP's going to say, and I'm fine with his pick as well.
Lamar motherfucking Jackson.
I'm okay with
that.
I'm okay with that too. Of the league. So, also going to reference Ben Solak here. Lamar Jackson's on pace for 3,770 passing yards and 900 rushing yards on the season. Lamar Jackson's going to be the only quarterback to ever do that. He's going to be the only player to do that. Also, I think we kind of don't understand how much Lamar carries on his shoulders when it comes to the run game. J.K. Dobbins gone for the year. Keaton Mitchell gone for the year. Gus Edwards been in and out of the lineup. Justice Hill is a third down back. Lamar Jackson is that offense. I think you're going to look at the advanced numbers like EPA and that's cool. When you watch Lamar Jackson, that is an MVP. He is playing his best football, better than when he was the unanimous MVP. So, and also the Ravens are the best team in the AFC. So I really do think the MVP is going to be decided on Christmas. That game is basically going to decide who wins MVP. But right now, I picked Lamar in the preseason. I have no reason to not pick Lamar now. Look, again, as someone whose team has seen Lamar, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar is right up there with Mahomes. That dude is different. The dude moves different. He made so many of our defensive linemen look so stupid. He made so many of our defenders look stupid. And he's not even running full speed. If you watch him, he's very clearly just moving at 80% maybe, because he's so good at not taking a massive crushing hit. where he's just kind of like, oh, I'll just go down now. Like, I don't have to do this, but I'm just going to go down. So that when you watch him, he moves. That is an MVP player.
I like it. I'll say for me, there's a lot of good choices this year. I kind of struggle there because like McCaffrey, you can make the case, but I think it depends on how these final 2 weeks go. Like if the Dolphins get the first, if they sneak into the number 1 seed, I think Tyreek Hill has a really good case for MVP.
I think for Tyreek to win, he has to break 2K.
Okay.
Or at least come very close to it, like 19.
I mean, Calvin Johnson has 1,984 yards. That's a single season record. You got to get that. He is, I think, 458 yards away from 2,000.
Yeah, not playing against the Jets definitely hurt that.
He needs 153 yards each game over the next 3 games to do that, which is certainly possible. I mean, with the amount of man coverage the Cowboys play and the boom or bust ability of DeRon Bland,
I'll say this too, and that's fine. I know that everybody's gonna, say that, Jarrett doing his typical thing again, but Bills went out and get in the playoffs. Joshua Patrick Allen should be in the conversation.
No, too many tough games this year that he played bad in.
I don't know. Myles Garrett still kind of in there, maybe a little bit.
I don't think so.
I think Myles Garrett is Defensive Player of the Year, but I think the shoulder injury plus like Joe Flacco actually being good kind of hurts his MVP case.
Yeah,
because
I didn't know if that would help his narrative. Like if they get in the playoffs with Flacco and all the different quarterbacks they've had playing, and it's like because the defense has been so dominant, they probably have to win the division.
It would have if they were winning games like 9-6. But Joe Flacco's out here putting up 38 points.
Yeah,
like
I just gotta say, I don't know if I'm like Lamar to me is the only quarterback other than Purdy that's deserving this year. Like, I understand that the Niners have a stacked roster, but like, it's crazy to me seeing Josh Allen have only 8 wins right now, seeing where Trevor Lawrence is at right now. Like, these elite quarterbacks are not able to carry the load. And hey, maybe they never should have been in the first place. Maybe teams should have been more balanced, but like, I want my elite quarterbacks to be elite. 8 wins is not elite.
To be fair.
Christ. Okay. JP, go ahead.
To be fair.
Before I snap.
I guess I will defend my franchise quarterback first. I think we massively overrated the Jaguars roster in the offseason.
Especially the past defense.
You guys don't get to do this. You don't get
but let me finish. Let me finish. Because I was one of those people who massively overrated the Jaguars roster.
Swear to God, dude.
This team is.
They were massively underrated last year when they were playing well, and they're massively overrated this year. They're playing bad.
They weren't massively underrated last year.
They were. Christian Kirk, man, look how good he's playing.
That's not being underrated. That's just being good.
Yeah, just acknowledging that he's playing well.
Christian Kirk is not he's a very jag. He's just another guy. There was a reason why we were all hyped about that contract.
Sure.
Just another guy.
Sure, man. All right, I'm not even going to get into that. But the entire offense is built on like Trevor Lawrence getting this offense out of bad situations with an offensive line that has you and I playing on it right now. Yeah. And with Christian Kirk, who is a very good receiver on the sidelines. Calvin Ridley just hasn't been hasn't been what they traded.
That's been the biggest thing for them is like Calvin really hasn't been that alpha one that they thought he would be.
Again, the 49ers and Brock Purdy have had some of the worst offensive line play of any winning team all year long. Like they have. It's the statistically some of the worst outside of Trent Williams. The team has had really bad offensive line play all year. That's Googleable. He has like one of the highest pressure rates of any quarterback.
So, San Francisco is currently 8th in the NFL in pass block win rate, according to.
Yes, right now, Feliciano came in at the end of this, like the last few games, and has played really well since. Before that, like look at the actual games throughout the year.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are 30th in pass block win rate.
Yeah, not great.
Like,
They've been horrid.
This team sucks up front. But I think getting that team to 8 wins, like, it's not an MVP, like, it's not MVP caliber. I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence is an MVP caliber player this year, but them getting the 8 wins, pretty good. It's not what you expected. It's pretty good, and they still have a good shot to win the division, make the playoffs. When it comes to Josh Allen,
allow me to really defend Josh Allen real quick.
Go ahead.
The guy who leads the NFL in total touchdowns, total offensive yards. That's impressive to do considering the fact that outside of Stephon Diggs, his receivers are Trent Sherfield, Khalil Shakir, who the hell is Deontay Hardy. They fired their offensive coordinator midseason because the offense just wasn't working. He was expected to do everything. Now, you get, James Cook's finally being affiliated and they're playing better overall. Josh Allen didn't have 12 guys on the field against Denver. That's a win if Sean McDermott and the rest of the team doesn't have that mental lapse. Josh Allen didn't let Mac Jones drive down the field in the last drive of the game after he put them up with less than 2 minutes left. Josh Allen didn't tuck his tail and go to overtime against the Philadelphia Eagles or let the Eagles tie the game after he put them up with less than 2 minutes left. If the Bills just hold on to those games, they're an 11-win team right now. Josh Allen can control this defense,
you're missing the point, though. I think Josh Allen's a fantastic quarterback.
Like, I didn't say that you didn't think
if
that.
If the Niners had Josh Allen, they would be probably undefeated right now. That's not my point. My point is he just shouldn't be a part of the MVP conversation.
That's
at all.
Like, yeah, I can hear that argument. My point is that if they win out and he continues putting up the numbers that he is, he should at least be in the conversation. I don't think he would win it, but I think it'd be like, okay, Josh Allen, maybe in there.
Yeah,
I think he'll get votes.
I don't.
I think.
Why would he? But why? Why would he get votes over Lamar or Josh?
Not like first place votes, but like he would get second, third place votes.
He's getting votes. I'm not saying he's getting first place votes. He's gonna get votes.
Yeah. And like when you look and sticking in the AFC South, like I think what CJ Stroud has done to this point in the season with like coming into this season, his leading receiver was Nico Collins, who had a career high of 37 catches last year, helping that team get to 8 wins where they are now. He doesn't have Tank Dell anymore. He's going to have to figure out that for the final few weeks of the year. I think what doing is going to sound like I'm discrediting, so forgive me. But like what CJ Stroud has done to me is more impressive than what Purdy's done, simply because he's doing more with a lot less.
I wouldn't say he's doing more with a lot less. They've got their offensive weapons are playing very well this year. Noah Brown.
You're telling me that you take Noah Brown over Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk or any.
But they're first. Like this is Nico Collins' first year on like a serviceable team. This is Noah Brown's like I'm saying these are young guys. Like you can't compare them to established like elite players, but they're not. But they're going to continue to play well. Like I have a feeling that they're going to have a really good team next year because of those players.
Also, as a whole, I think the Texans' offensive line might be better than San Francisco's this year.
It probably is
because Laramie Tunsil is
very good,
just as good as Trent Williams. I mean, and then
they did just lose. They lost Howard for the year with that.
Titus Howard played very well. Shaq Mason has been phenomenal at right guard. And this isn't to discredit Brock Purdy at all. I've written about how Brock Purdy has played. He has improved, and he's also been a drastic difference in what the 49ers offense has had and what they needed at quarterback. I think he is going to get a lot of votes for MVP. But I also think he's going to split votes with Christian McCaffrey because that's just the nature of the beast. Like he's going to end up splitting votes with a guy who has like what? How many touchdowns this year?
20.
He's got 20 touchdowns this year.
13 on the ground, 7 receiving.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, he's going to end up splitting votes with a guy who has 20 touchdowns this year. That's what it is. Like with Lamar, he's not splitting with anybody. Like that is the offense is Lamar.
And I kind of got like earlier in the year, like comparing Lamar to Josh Allen and whatnot. The like when the Ravens get inside the 1, it's been a lot of, okay, here's Gus Edwards. Okay, here's Justice Hill running for a yard, but like it was, Lamar getting them down there. So he might not have the gaudy touchdown numbers, but he's, the biggest reason why they are in that position in the first place.
Look at the Twitter DM that I just sent you guys. This is a month ago. Pass, what's it called? Offensive line grades and true pass sets.
Ooh.
This is great audio, by the way. I'm sure for all these podcasts.
Great
So I mean, well, I don't think that but this late into the pod, there's going to be like 2 people listening.
Not true.
But yeah,
Not
I mean,
true.
just statistically, the 49ers were ranked 26th in the league. It wasn't until Feliciano, like I mentioned this last month, really came in and has played very well. But my point is, going up until this was November 14th, Brock Purdy had one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL in true pass situations.
Does that also takes into account no Trent Williams?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
That's why they're not last.
Again, it's going to be hard to win MVP when the other guy on your team also has 20 touchdowns and is playing the best football of his career.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm not going to argue with Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I think the best.
Go. Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas podcast. Hell yeah.